HOA Karen trampled my mom's metal, got sentenced to rehab service. The air smelled of rain and regret the day Karen stormed into our lives. I just moved into my late mother's house in Maple Grove, a quiet suburb where the lawns were manicured and the HOA ruled like a petty dictatorship. Mom's war medal, a bronze star she earned as a nurse in Vietnam, sat on my mantle, a fragile reminder of her courage, her sacrifice, and the stories she'd told me with trembling hands. I was 27, still raw from her passing, sorting through her things when Karen, the HOA president, knocked. Her smile was all teeth, like a shark circling a lifeboat. "Welcome to Maple Grove, Elise," she said, handing me a binder thick with rules. "We keep things orderly here. Your mailbox is half an inch too tall. Fix it by Friday." I nodded, too tired to argue, but her eyes lingered on the metal through my open window. "That's, tacky," she muttered. "Military stuff doesn't belong on display. Looks cheap." My stomach twisted, but I bit my tongue. Mom taught me to pick my battles. This wasn't one yet. The next week, Karen's inspections began. She'd stride across my lawn in her pristine white sneakers, clipboard in hand, noting infractions. My roses were too red. My trash cans were visible for an hour past pickup. Each visit came with a jab at Mom's medal, still on the mantle. "You should put that in the storage," she'd say, her voice dripping with condescension. "It's not neighborhood aesthetic." I started closing my curtains, but Karen's shadow loomed larger each day, her presence a splinter under my skin. It wasn't just me. Karen terrorized Maple Grove with her rulebook. She fined Mr. Patel for his daughter's chalk drawings, claiming they lowered property values. She reported Mrs. Nguyen's vegetable garden for unauthorized land use. Whispers at the community mailbox painted her as a tyrant, but no one dared challenge her. She had the HOA board in her pocket, and her husband, a lawyer, made sure her decrees stuck. Still, I kept my head down, clutching Mom's memory like a lifeline. Then came the twist I didn't see coming. At the monthly HOA meeting, I met Javier, a landscaper who'd just moved in across the street. He was quiet, with kind eyes and calloused hands, and he'd heard about Karen's reign. "She tried to fine me for planting native wildflowers," he said, rolling his eyes. "Said they're weeds. My mom taught me about plants. She'd hate this place." We bonded over our losses, our mother's legacies, and our shared irritation with Karen's control. Javier had a plan: document her overreaches, rally the neighbors, and present a case to oust her at the next election. I hesitated. Mom always said to avoid trouble, but Javier's conviction was contagious. "We're not fighting for us," he said. "We're fighting for everyone she's hurt." I was in. Our quiet rebellion grew. Javier and I collected stories: Karen's fines, her threats, her habit of borrowing neighbors' tools and never returning them. We found allies in Mrs. Nguyen, whose garden was now a barren patch, and Mr. Patel, who'd saved his daughter's chalk drawings in a scrapbook. But Karen wasn't clueless. She sensed the shift, her inspections doubling, her notes sharper. One day, she caught me and Javier whispering in my driveway, plotting something. She sneered, her eyes narrowing. "You'll learn to follow rules, Elise, or you'll regret it." Her words hung heavy, a storm brewing. The storm broke on a humid Saturday. I'd been invited to a Veterans Memorial event to honor Mom's service, and I decided to bring her medal. It was risky. Karen's spies were everywhere, but I wanted to feel her with me. I placed the medal in a velvet case, tucked it into my bag, and headed to my car. That's when I saw it. My mailbox, freshly painted to HOA standards, was toppled. Its post snapped like a twig. Scattered across the asphalt was Mom's medal, its ribbon torn, its bronze face scratched and dented. Karen stood nearby, arms crossed, her white sneakers smudged with dirt. "Oops," she said, her voice venomous. "It must have fallen when I was inspecting." Rage burned through me. "You did this," I hissed, kneeling to gather the pieces. The medal's inscription, "For Valor," was barely legible, ground into the pavement. Neighbors peeked from windows, but none approached. Karen smirked. "Prove it," she said. "And while you're at it, fix that mailbox. It's an eyesore." She turned to leave, but I grabbed her arm. "This was my mother's," I said, my voice shaking. "She saved lives. You don't get to destroy her memory." Karen yanked free, her face twisting. "Your mother's junk doesn't belong here. This is my neighborhood." She stomped on the metal again, the crunch echoing like a gunshot. I lunged, but Javier appeared from nowhere, pulling me back. "Not like this," he whispered, his eyes locked on Karen. "She'll pay, but not like this." The crowd grew, phones out, recording. Karen's smirk faltered, but she doubled down. "You're all pathetic," she spat, storming off. The aftermath was chaos. The video of Karen's tantrum went viral on the neighborhood's private X group, shared by Mrs. Nguyen's teenage son. Comments poured in. "She's gone too far. That medal was sacred. We're done with her." But Karen wasn't done. She filed a complaint with the HOA, accusing me of assault for grabbing her arm. Her husband sent a cease and desist letter, claiming defamation. I was drowning Mom's medal, her legacy was in pieces, and Karen was untouchable. Or so I thought. Javier rallied the troops. At the next HOA meeting, we presented our case screenshots of Karen's fines, testimonies from neighbors, and the video of her desecrating Mom's medal. The board, usually her puppets, shifted uncomfortably. Then came the second twist. Mrs. Callahan, a retired judge who'd kept quiet for years, stood up. "I've seen enough," she said, her voice steady. "Karen's been skimming HOA funds for personal use. I have bank records." The room gasped. Mrs. Callahan had been auditing Karen in secret, her own rebellion sparked by a fine for her grandson's skateboard. The evidence was damning, thousands diverted to Karen's landscaping projects, which were just her backyard renovations. Karen's face went white. "Lies," she screamed, but the board wasn't buying it. The vote to remove her was unanimous, but the real justice came later. The veterans group I'd attended heard about the medal and filed a formal complaint. Karen's act wasn't just vandalism, it was destruction of a federally protected military artifact. The court didn't take kindly to her excuses. She was sentenced to 500 hours of community service at a veterans rehab center, cleaning bedpans and scrubbing floors, the kind of work Mom did without complaint. Her husband's lawyering couldn't save her. The judge called her actions a disgrace to community values. As Karen shuffled out of the courtroom, head down, I held the repaired medal, its cracks still visible but sealed with care by a local jeweler. It wasn't perfect, but it was whole again. Like me, Maple Grove began to heal too. Javier replanted Mrs. Nguyen's garden, and Mr. Patel's daughter drew chalk murals without fear. The HOA elected Mrs. Callahan as president, and the binder of rules slimmed down. I placed Mom's medal back on the mantle, its scars a testament to resilience. Karen's fall wasn't just a punishment, it was a reckoning. She'd trampled more than a medal. She'd trampled trust, community, and memory. Now she'd spend her days serving those she'd disrespected, her smugness stripped away. I wonder what you think. Was her sentence enough? Or did she deserve worse? Share your thoughts, I'm listening.